It's rare for a quality hack that changes the entire game to actually be finished, so that kind of hack getting a sequel is unheard of. In case you have no idea what I'm on about, Lone Devil is most well known for his previous hack, Metal Sonic Hyperdrive. I went back to it before making this video and ended up playing it for a lot longer than intended, so it clearly hit the mark. And now, it has a sort of sequel in the form of Metal Sonic Rebooted. Right from the start, this hack's differences stand out with its much darker metallic aesthetic, seemingly going for a more dystopian future vibe, quite reminiscent of Mega Man X. Additionally, enemies now shake the screen with an explosion upon death, which really adds to the more action-epic feel the game aims for. The level design adds to this by focusing on speed over platforming, though I worry if it does so a little too much in the first zone, as I'm pretty sure I screen warped here. I did come across a small amount of dickish enemy placement, but the blow was lessened by the fact that you only lose a small number of rings when hit. This change was probably made to accompany for the new rocket attack, a dash that can be activated mid-air at the cost of some of your rings. You can also use your rings for the new insta-peel-out overdrive attack, which I found to be a nice addition for keeping up the pace, or for the modified half-pipe special stages if you're a complete sadist. The bosses are each the same from Sonic 2, though the orders are different and they have been modified to be slightly harder. Metal Mecha Silver Robo Sonic DX, for example, seems to not be vulnerable to the spin dash for whatever reason. I found this collision change to be questionable, but it did make for an interesting challenge not being able to completely cheese the boss for once. Moving on to the second zone, which is Magma Factory. The Starlight Zone fans are spread throughout the game and they feel most dominant here. I'm not a fan, ironically, of how they affect the pacing. They're largely just used to make you come to a halt before resuming the pace and not really adding anything. Additionally, this zone seems to enjoy railroading you back to the start, which does nothing but become a bit tedious. But looking past the minor issues, the zone was a lot of fun. It manages to introduce more platforming, while still keeping the fast pace from the first zone present. The strong levels of polish continue here, making something as simple as crumbling floor feel satisfying. Additionally, the parallax scrolling and animation are used effectively with the lava to give the zone flair. As you approach the end of the zone, there seems to be an increase in jumping over lava parts, which not only helps to climax the level, but also rather cleverly leads into the boss fight, which also takes place over a pit of lava. It may be a reuse of content, but it's a smart reuse. Third up is Forbidden Ruins, an orchard-like zone which is quite the tonal shift from the previous two stages. I wouldn't have thought the Apple industry would be flourishing in a mechanical monarchy, but who knows, perhaps Robotnik was meant to be Appleman all along, but it was changed when people mistook him for some cheap, healthy eating mascot. Whilst the contrastingly colourful aesthetic is a little distracting, the zone maintains a mix of speed and platforming, this time focusing more on platforming and underwater sections. Whilst it doesn't do too much differently, it does like to play with water, having it rise and fall along with the platforms that float atop it. I found that made the zone a little more active. The final zone I played all the way through is Neo Utopia. This was probably my least favourite zone out of the bunch. It's certainly not the most difficult level I've ever played, but it is quite punishing. Looking back, it does have a nice mix of mechanics, feeling like a blend between Chemical Plant and Scrap Brain. Additionally, the artwork continues to hold up, going back to the darker aesthetic. But even so, it can be hard to look at the positives after getting spiked into a bottomless pit, an underwater bottomless pit no less. The last zone I looked at goes for a more desert aesthetic. I personally found it to be more fun than the previous zone from what I played, as it presented some neat platforming challenges while still maintaining a more energetic feel, using as sand streams and bounce pads. But sadly, this is where it ended for me. Metal was crushed, the game crashed, I cracked, like an apple. From what I managed to play, this hack is pretty solid overall. It managed to create a feeling I haven't really experienced in a classic Sonic game, one which works well with the character of Metal Sonic. Whilst I did run into a crash and some of the later stages felt a bit too punishing, I think the game does enough right in terms of design, feel and aesthetic to justify playing it. Thanks for watching this video. I just wanted to take the time to point out that if I ever do give negative criticism, it's not because I'm trying to bash the creator, but instead it's because I think the hacks are worthy enough to be both criticised and praised. I know how much work goes into them, so I hope I can spread some appreciation.